Please do it.
Yes, start by.
Yeah. So I think today's topic.
One second. Rajender, Jitendra, we may go offline with your camera, so only Sharad might be visible while representing, and same with you all. And the second thing, we will take Q&A at the end of the session. So if you have any question, you can write your Q&A question in your question box. So we will take it after the session. Thank you. So yes, Sharad, sorry for the interruption. You can take.
No problem. No problem. You are the boss today. So in case I think I'm not having really great internet, but in case you find any internet glitches, feel free to comment in the chat box. So we are talking about go-to-market strategy. I think we can see around a good set of attendees in the today's call. It would be helpful if you can interact during this call. I might be asking a few things. If it is fine with you, you can have some comments in the chat box. You can write it. You can ask Q&A is also in between, but maybe we can answer that later on, or I will try to cover while I'm speaking. So basically, you might be at different stages of the startup. You might be an idea stage startup, or already have raised pre-seed or seed round, or maybe near to an angel round, or angel or series round, max to max series round. That's what I believe. The kind of audience we have today. So first of all, we need to understand that why we are actually talking about go-to-market strategy. Has any of you tried raising funds or met investors? If you would like to comment in the chat, you can mention. How many of you have you tried anytime reaching out to investors, have already raised or in the process of raising, or actually want to raise? Have you mentioned that? Would like to hear from you. Yes, no, yes, no. So most of the time you have or haven't, most of the times you would be hearing from the investors is that, yeah, I'm hearing from someone said no, someone said yes, says they want to raise. Others could be also willing to comment. So I think one of the important thing is that most of the technical or engineers are actually startup founders, and they're not very good in interactions. This we have faced, and I have faced myself. So I think let's beat that challenge right now, and let's try to be interactive today. So many times you would be, thank you, Raji. So you're trying to get funds. When you will be actually going to meet the investors, when you would be actually in that process, you would be hearing so many times, you would be hearing that we are not sure about your go-to-market strategy. The most common response from an investor who would like to reject you would be that we are not sure about your go-to-market strategy. We were not convinced about your go-to-market strategy. We still have doubts, and we would like to look at it further. So this is a very important session that you are having today, and feel free to ask any queries about it. Now, when and why we actually need to create a go-to-market strategy. So I will share my screen. I hope I have my rights. Yeah. So I'll share my screen, and I'll show you in between a few things that can be helpful. So there are three different scenarios when we are actually when we are actually creating a go-to-market strategy. I'll in parallel, I'll keep you continue to giving me about Tinkali's examples also. So one is that whenever you are trying to create a new product, or in a same market, or you are going with the same product in a new market, or you are actually coming up with a new product in a new market. Now you can go through this slide, slightly read it. I'll give you a brief about Tinkali. So Tinkali is a company which helps students of age 6 to 16-year-old develop STEM learning as a hobby, and at the same time they will also develop skills that would be important in their future jobs. So we teach kids to actually learn robotics, artificial intelligence, coding, IoT in different manners. So we help schools to set up large labs, and we also help kids to learn at home. So these are the two ways we are working. Now, why I gave you an introduction at this moment is because we had a very interesting change in our business strategy last year when COVID came in. Prior to that, we were primarily a B2B company helping schools to set up larger setups, larger labs. and curriculum. And then we actually introduced a program of B2C category in the consumer segment, where we actually brought in courses like learning at home. Now, the biggest competitor you might have already, everyone might have heard about, is like Whitehead Junior has been already doing these coding curriculum. I'll take you a very similar example here. There could be two possibilities. We had two options. One, that Whitehead Junior came in this category. So when you will be looking at Whitehead Junior's particular case, they were actually in this category. So they created a new offering. Like no one was buying a coding curriculum for that kind of a price. No one was buying a one-on-one live classes online in India earlier. So it was a new product, and it was a new market also, because this was slightly happening in US and Europe, but it was not happening in India. So what they did is that they brought in a new product in a new market, in a new market. Now we had two things. We could have done. We had two options. We had a strong product already ready with us. We could have done a slight modification based on the feedback that we were getting. People wanted that they had certain challenges, that this is quite online, this is nothing fun or entertaining, there is not much engagement. So they wanted some modification, some new level of product development. So we could have come up with a new product and going in the same market, like same Indian premium category market, which is like people earning more than 15 lakhs rupees per annum, a child having their own laptop or iPad. So that kind of a market. Secondly, it could have been the same product, like offering the same type of coding classes in an affordable manner and going in a new market, like a Bharat market, or you can say next half billion market, where people are earning say between 3 lakhs to 10 lakhs rupees per annum. So there was no product available there. So these were the two categories where we had the opportunity. Now you are going into a new product, same market. You are going into a same product in new market, or you are going into new product or market both. In all three cases, you would need a very strong go-to-market strategy. So this is the first phase of figuring out whenever you are coming up with that particular solution, when you need to decide that when a go-to-market strategy is important. Now, important point comes in that once we figured out, so we figured out that we had a certainly similar product for a newer market. So we wanted to go into a Bharat segment, like people wanting to actually learn these kind of skills because they were seeing all over it on TV advertisements. They wanted to learn, but they were not able to afford it. So we brought it a more customized and affordable version for Bharat market. Secondly, we also modified for the premium category market who have already utilized or explored Whitehead or similar competitors market. We brought in a more hands-on approach. So younger kids had the challenge that they are actually not that much patient to actually wait to write a 100 lines of code and actually then waiting for something to happen. They want, if they write a 2 lines of code, something should be moving. So we introduced a robotics along with that. So I'll talk about product later, but this is something we followed two approaches: a go-to-market strategy for new product, slightly a modified product, and a go-to-market strategy for a new market. So this is about when and where a GTM strategy is required. So whenever you come up a new product, you come up a new expansion, you come up a new partnership, foreign expansion, a new state expansion, you come up a new product line, you can always think about a GTM. The second question comes is when you start it. The first part of starting it is the who is going to be your target customers. So target customer can be different in different GTM strategies, and that is something very important to identify. अब हमारे केस में what was the scenario is that we were focusing on a middle income group segment, like age group, a particular income group, a kind of students who are going into English medium schools, maybe into tier one, not more into metros. So various things we could identify. The whole idea of identifying this customer persona was to actually uh, visualize. Now you can visualize. You might say that every accelerator, incubator teaches us to do customer interviews. What is new we are talking about? It is important. Till now, you might have done those customer interviews to identify that your business is required or not, or startup is required or not. But this is more than that. You do these customer interviews to actually identify how do you create your marketing campaign, how do you create a promotional strategy, and how those feedbacks from the customer are important. So पहली चीज तो why they will purchase you and why they will purchase you over another competitor. So when there is a big brand available, big competitor available in the market, why would they purchase you over another competitor? are the two things that need a very crisp answer. Now, very crisp answer, how you can figure it out, how you can identify this particular answer. So customers say when you can ask questions in a various different formats. For example, last time when you, so there is something called dry test. You do dry test to actually identify that what exactly customer is thinking in their subconscious mind, not exactly what they really want. So just say you can ask them ki, when was the last time you had a coding course. So I'm giving our example what Tinkali created. What was so hardest thing about learning this? So some kids were not excited because this is too geeky. Some parents were not happy because there was already a heavy screen time. So what was the hard thing in this? How would you have solved it? And why? What you got it, why was that not awesome? So you might have some more other solution, but why was that not that awesome? अब ये तो क्वेश्चंस you can create any kind of questions. Important element here comes is this. Sometimes we do as a founders, and we, even myself, have done this mistake, is that we actively follow what customer is wanting us to do. So sometimes customers say they are doing two live classes per week. We want 4 live classes per week. Someone would say that we want a year long course. We want a monthly course. Some customer would say that uh, I want deeper engagement from the teacher. So I want more better teachers, more qualified teachers. I want a teacher of my choice. So all sort of things can come up. I'm again taking my example, but I'm saying that customer can have various type of inquiry. But you need to understand, instead of following that blindly, that अगर उन्होंने बोला 4 classes करनी है week में, तो it's not necessary that they really want 4 classes. What they might be looking for is the higher engagement time and higher attention time. So we need to understand when they're demanding something, what is their pain point. So Henry Ford, what he did is that when there was a very common say from Henry Ford is that if he would have asked people that what they wanted, they would have said that we want faster horses. Why? Because at that time people were commuting using horses, and what they had problem is that they were taking too much time into going from place A to place B. So their problem was actually going to one place to another place in a lesser time. And what they would think of a solution is that they can find a faster horse. So why, if Henry Ford would have blindly followed, instead of creating an automobile company, he might have created a biomedical company and created a serum so that horses speed can increase. But no, he understood the what is the hidden meaning, what customer is requiring, and accordingly he realized that you want to reduce the time. So this is a very simple example that I have taken, is because we sometimes, as a product manager or the sales team, your sales representatives from the company can come and tell you that if you bring this particular feature, people will purchase it. It's not necessary always. You have to be very selective based on your long term and short term strategy. अब हम दूसरे पार्ट पे आ जाते हैं. वंस यू हैव आइडेंटिफाइड कि आपको वेयर योर इंटरेस्ट लाइज इज, एंड वी हैव अ वेरी limited time also. So I will take a very another example here instead of taking an edtech example. So whenever you're creating a campaign, it is, this value matrix is very important. So whenever you're creating a social media campaign or digital paid advertisement campaign or a print advertisement campaign, you can think this in mind. So there are some pain points you have identified based on your customer interview. Now you know that what product features are actually answering those pain points. So if we take an example of a sales CRM, यहाँ दो target customer है. One is user, usually a sales representative of a company, and an influencer, usually let's say assume a CEO of that particular company. Now having a salesperson of a sales CRM, you want to sell this to a next company and you are going to pitch them. You know that their pain points is that if without having a CRM, a salesperson is investing too much time into filling a spreadsheet. His 2 hours of the day are actually going into updating their boss, and the boss is always troubled to actually continuously following up with their sales representatives. So these are all pain points. And in pain point if you want to solve these pain points, the product has all the features that are using this. But are you going to list all these product features into your advertisement campaign? No. So you want a clear cut communication, and that requires a lot of effort. So you need to do a group brainstorming sessions to actually identify that what is the clean, simple one line message you can pass on so that a customer can identify that this is something what I want. So for a sales representative, the company came up with this line: stop wasting selling time in CRM with Sales AI. So Sales AI was the name of the product. Stop wasting selling time in CRM with Sales AI. So it solves all the problems of all the three pain points. And then to the boss, to the CEO, what they have mentioned is that clean up your messy customer data with sales automation. So these two pitching line, now it can be relevant to your particular category or particular sector. But whenever you're creating a campaign, please do this exercise of having a pain point, having your product features, and then figuring out what message you want to pass on. Use a kind of lingo, use a kind of accent, terminologies which is relevant to your customer. So if your customers are teens, try to use teenager language. If your customers are old age people, try to use the similar language, similar kind of words, lingo that you can use in that message, so that they can touch base that someone, my friend, is telling this particular message. This is very important. तो ये एक गो टू मार्केट स्ट्रेटेजी का दूसरा पार्ट होता है कम्युनिकेशन का. Now, when you're creating this go-to-market strategy, we sometimes miss. So, of all our investment decks, many of you mentioned that you are already in plan to raise funds. In your investment decks, you are always doing a competitive analysis, and you are doing a competitive analysis of feature to feature. Like this, I have this feature, they have this feature, I have this, they have this. I'm solving this purpose, they are solving this. I'm less costly, they are more costly. So this is what they're doing. But are you actually figuring out what marketing campaign, what is their go-to-market strategy, and what is your go-to-market strategy? So you should know that you can't go into a battle uh, where you don't know the other part of the whom you are fighting for, right? Whom you are fighting against. If you don't know that, you can't enter in such a battle. Similarly, if you don't know that what your customer, what your competitors are doing, it would be really difficult actually to actually create a better go-to-market strategy. So usually what I do at Tinkle is that I have a very long spreadsheet where for each competitor, I can identify what does their product is, what is their particular, what kind of benefits they are providing, that particular product is providing, what are the features. Now there is a difference between feature and benefit. There's a separate different content you can go about. Then how much market share they have, what is their target customer, what is their communication channel, what are their marketing channels, what is their marketing strategy, pricing history, etc. If you can list all these items, so you can have in your spreadsheet, the top row can have all these items: product info, benefits, market share, communication, and then here you can have various competitors and try to fill in for each competitor all these things, and then try to identify where you lie in this particular and where you have a scope of improvement. What is a particular competitor's strength? Some have pricing strength, some have a very strong communication, some have a content strength. So this way you can figure it out. When you have identified your customer, so for example, in our case, when we were mapping our competition, I'm just using a common term competition, not using a particular company's name, but we said that who are they learning, teaching coding? Okay. Are they teaching tutoring one-on-one? Okay. Is there any self-paced learning option? So the pains I came from is the customer interview. I got these pains, and now I'm trying to figure out which competitor is solving which pains. So is there any flexibility? Is there any flexibility in terms of what kind of okay, so sometimes there is a requirement. So I have this chat requirement that there is some complex description. Okay, so I'm comparing within the product features or product requirement or the pain points which customer has asked for, right? So what pain points a customer wants the solution for? Can you compare it with your competition? So you might, many of the customers in the edtech category, they want flexibility because they want flexibility in terms of scheduling classes. So is there any other competition providing it? So there could be, they want more fun, they want more engagement. So I'm just comparing and showing you how we do it Tinkerly. So we created a campaign out of it that this is Shan, he learns coding like this. So this is based on a pain point that he is already, parents are concerned about the screen time. And we created another comparative here is that this is Anya, she joined Tinkerly's coding courses and now create a machine. So she is working on hardware while learning online. So this is based on the pain points and the requirements we figured out. ठीक है, ये आपका हो गया. We have a very limited time now, so we have We use various channels for our promotion. Social media could be one of them, e-commerce for selling our physical kits. Two more channels, influencers and partnerships. Now, when I said initially that we want to go into tier two edtech market, tier two edtech market, based on a recent report by Omidyar and Redseer, 54% of the parents are actually influenced by what their tuition teacher is recommending or what their school teachers are recommending. So in these markets, influence through a teacher or a coaching is one of the biggest major powerful channel to actually sell these in these places. And then partnership to keep the costs low, what products and campaigns have already gone into there. So you can figure out what channels are relevant to you and how would you want to distribute your marketing budget and your targets accordingly. So usually we have targets like we want to create leads, we want to get our apps downloads, we want to spread our brand awareness, and something we need to continuously change it based on the COVID as well as other recent affairs. You should have a very strong KPI in terms of measuring your go-to-market strategy. So I'm just giving you an example that, let's say, for my lead generation goal, we have certain metrics that we measure on weekly basis, on monthly basis, on quarterly basis. Similarly, for all our goals, we have certain metrics which we have a frequency of measuring. You can start doing that if you're spending on your marketing. If you are not spending, you can have a lesser number of KPIs here. Now you can compare your funnels. Now, based on the channels that you have identified, you can compare that. So this I get when you are doing a financial planning. So this is the last part of my presentation. Like when you are doing a financial planning of your go-to-market strategy, you can have various channels, and I divide it in case of edtech is that some we are acquiring new users, like someone knowing first time about Tinkerly and our product, or we are acquiring a user who are already in our network through our application or through our school network. So we have a different process of identifying and having a funnel of those new users. And when we have an owned user through our B2B2C channel, we have a different funnel. We are a company which moved from B2B to actually B2C and now doing together. So in our owned channel category, we have a less, almost half of the customer acquisition cost in comparison to the new user. So you can have a various methods. When you've raised a lot of funds, you can go all in all with your new user category expansion. When you are working into a limited funding and you have no funding, try to go through creating a fusion network. So some startups create WhatsApp communities, Facebook communities. They try to create communities around it so that they're already known users and they can easily communicate. One of the example is, if you have heard about this startup called FinShots, they have recently launched a company called Ditto Insurance. So FinShot was very popular newsletter, or can say a media company, to learn about financial updates. And now they have created a market base. All of us are their own users. They launched their another product. So this way you can reduce your cost of customer acquisition significantly low. Then what comes is, like, you have a very interesting question that a lot of startups are going in losses and they are raising funds again and again. And accordingly, how do you justify your marketing budget in your business plan projections? So usually a recurring business model helps here. So you invest initially in your marketing budget. So because you have a higher proportion of new user and lesser proportion of existing or owned users. By the time you go in that journey, you have a higher proportion in your business coming in from your own users and lesser proportion in terms of your new users. So marketing cost remains almost increasing very limited way, while your revenues pump up very high because of the recurring nature of the business coming in. So this helps an investor to justify that why you are willing to raise, let's say, a $5 million when your revenues might be just $6 million, and with your indirect cost you are in losses of $4 or $5 million. But an investor can see that next year your marketing cost will go maybe 50% up, but your revenue might go 200% or 500% up. So this validation comes from your go-to-market strategy. Coming to the first pain, that most of the investors refuse with this logic that your go-to-market strategy is not clear. They want to see this also reflects in your fund utilization plan. So all what I'm saying about is about overall in edtech. It's a very competitive space, but we try to figure out that how do we come up with a new product in that space where already a user is purchasing product, or a validated product. Can we bring in new kind of audiences where we could be early providers, or we can get early adopters. So this is what all I wanted to say about go to market strategy. If you have any questions, please let me know. feel free to have questions about EdTech, about Tinkly, about go-to-market strategy. And at the end, last part of the session, I will try to answer them. Thank you. I think
Thank
that's
you,
it for
Sharad,
me.
for the wonderful GTM strategy about your edtech domain and your understanding in the domain and all. So yes, so thanks for that. So I would like to invite our next startup, Fresho Card, founder Rajender. Yes, so Rajender, now the stage is yours, and Sharad,
Thank you.
you may go offline and wait for till the Q&A.
Yeah, hi Rahul. Thank you
Uh,
for
uh,
inviting me to this session.
yes. So
We had a very
meanwhile,
great,
yes,
yeah,
yes, please go ahead.
okay. Yes, I think Sarad has done very good hard work for providing a great session to all of you. And so my strategy here will be just basic of most of the startup founders, because about market, I know like as per Startup India, there are more than 50,000 startups in India, right? And if you talk about how many startups reach to like Series A, or maybe even like pre-Series A round, there are very few, maybe below 1%, right? So why these for 99% startups are unable to reach there? So there are some common issues. Most of them unable to raise the funds. Some of them unable to get that good tractions, and why they fail, right? So just basic about any startup. So I give you just background about us. Like Fresho Card, I started Fresho Card in around December 2016. We are a full stack 360-degree solution for farmers working in agriculture sector, in agri input, pre-harvest and post-harvest solutions, with a team of around 80 people. We are based out of Jaipur, and yeah, so that's just basic about us. About my background, so I am a engineer, and before starting Fresho Card, I working as a software developer and project manager technology in different startups. So about like go to market strategy, and like what are the key things where we have focused, or what mistake we have done, and what we have learned from them in, and how we like kept surviving, and how we have reached to this level. So just one basic is that you have to identify your customers. So just give you an example, like we started this company as like we will buy all the agri output or maybe vegetables from farmers and supply to B2B customers. Now in B2B customer, there are different kind of customers, like restaurants are there, retailers are there, and there in hotels are there. And hotels also there is different category, like 3-star, 4-star, 5-star category. So what we have realized that we should target to the 5-star hotels first, that it will be also, it will look cool in when we put these hotels name in our deck, and we will be able to raise the money. And that time we have invested 50 lakh rupees from our own pockets. But what we have realized that if there is a big customers, and even they are giving us chance to work with them, they, because they want to use their brand name. So what they will do, they will negotiate hard with you, and then because they know that we need them. So for that I believe that was our biggest mistake. At the time we were having all the 5-star of Jaipur with us, but our margins, where we have done projections of that we will get 15% margin, we were getting less than 5% margin, and we were like bleeding. Our cash flow went negative in next like 6 to 7 months. Then we have realized, we didn't identify, we have discussed with our advisors that what mistake we have done. We identify the customer that these are the big customers, and if we work, we are getting orders in the volume and all. So then we again worked on our cash flow or financial. Then we realized that those were not our targeted customers, right? If we could have went to a smaller level of set of customers, their order size could have been lesser, but our margin, जो हमारा margin होता है, that उसको टच नहीं करना पड़ता, वो 15% ही रहता है, and we could have survived for that, right? So this is a biggest mistake I believe many startup founders do. What they do, that just simple, आपको ये देखना है कि how much money you are having in account. You should not start कि मेरे को 6 महीने के बाद में इतना फंडिंग मिल जाएगा, मैं आगे चला जाऊंगा. आपके पास में हमेशा एक प्लान होना चाहिए कि हाउ यू विल survive, let's say if you don't get funds. Like I interact with many startup founders, they are at very early stage, or वो अभी कुछ start ही करना चाह रहे हैं, they are like building their initial team, but they are uh, unable to unable to sustain maybe 6 months. They don't have plan, or after 6 months or after 12 months कि अगर उनके पास पैसा नहीं आता मार्केट से तो क्या होना है. सो माई बिगेस्ट एडवाइस ऑन दिस, दैट लेट्स से आप अगर 10 लाख के साथ अपना बिजनेस स्टार्ट कर रहे हो, और आपके पास बहुत अच्छी स्ट्रॉन्ग टीम है, 2-3 लोगों का टीम है, तो आपको हमेशा अपना कस्टमर आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि किस तरीके से मेरे को ये 10 लाख रुपए इन्वेस्ट करने हैं. लेट्स से आई एम गिविंग 25% इन द टेक्नोलॉजी, 25% विल बी ऑन मार्केटिंग पार्ट, 5 लाख मेरा वर्किंग कैपिटल में जाएगा, और मे बी जिस तरीके का आपका बिजनेस मॉडल है, हाउ आई विल बी गेटिंग मे बी 20% मार्जिन, और जो 20% मार्जिन है उससे कैसे मेरे खर्चे निकलेंगे. बिकॉज क्या होता है, when you have money, then you can hire the consultant, you can hire big people, they can advise you differently, you can spend some money. Maybe आपने 10 लाख रुपए सोशल मीडिया पे लगा दिया, वो वर्कआउट नहीं किया तो भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, बिकॉज आपके अकाउंट में इन्वेस्टर्स का पैसे पड़ा हुआ है. लेकिन और वहां आपके पास इन्वेस्टर भी रहेंगे जो आपको एडवाइस करेंगे कि आपको कैसे बिजनेस करना है. लेकिन उससे पहले maybe I believe there are many, because I was also following the comments, so I think there are many founders, they are also urgent like initial level, or they are looking to raise their first round of funding even from the angels and the seed round of investors. So always take care of these 2-3 points. Identify your customers, that who will be your best customer. आपको ऐसा नहीं है कि there are 4 set of customers, like for us retailer एक customer था, hotels 3 star एक customer था, एक restaurants एक customer segment है. कौन सा आपका कस्टमर ऐसा है जिसमें आपको अपफ्रंट पेमेंट मिल रहा है, कुछ कस्टमर ऐसा होता है जो आपको फायदा उठा के आपको 60 डेज में पेमेंट कर रहा है. तो आपको ये बिजनेस के बहुत छोटे छोटे बेसिक्स है, इनका ध्यान रखना बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है. और ये ऐसा नहीं है कि एग्रीकल्चर में वर्क करता है, ये हर एक सेक्टर में वर्क करता है. जैसे शरद एजुकेशन की बात कर रहा था, तो उसके अंदर अगर लेट से आपका B2B बिजनेस मॉडल है, अब आपको कौन से कस्टमर को आइडेंटिफाई करना है. आपको अगर उस पर 30% मार्जिन लेना है, तो आपको 30% मार्जिन, अगर कोई कस्टमर बोल रहा है नहीं मैं 20% मार्जिन में काम करूंगा, मैं 60 डे में पेमेंट करूंगा, तो आपको वो कस्टमर आपके लिए बेस्ट कस्टमर नहीं है. तो आपको उस कस्टमर को एक्सक्लूड करना होगा. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि स्टार्टिंग में लोग क्या करते हैं कि मोस्टली आई हैव टू डू बिजनेस ऑफ लेट से 50 लाख, उसके लिए कुछ भी करते हैं. 60 लाख रुपीज लगा के 50 लाख का बिजनेस कर रहे हैं. तो जब आपके पास फंड नहीं है, तो आपको एक बेसिक धंधे वाली स्ट्रेटजी अपनाते हुए बिजनेस करना है, जिसे यू कैन कीप सर्वाइविंग. बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम क्या होता है कि लेट्स से इन आवर जर्नी ऑल्सो व्हेन वी डन दिस मिस्टेक, हम लोग 2 साल तक सेम बिजनेस मॉडल पे काम करते गए. हमें बीच में कुछ गवर्नमेंट से फंडिंग मिला, देन हम लोग कुछ एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स से फंड लिया, देन हमने रियलाइज किया कि दिस इज नॉट आवर टारगेटेड सेट ऑफ कस्टमर्स. Then we have totally changed our business model. We identify that farmers should be our customer. We will not work in this segment because एक ऐसा टाइम आ गया था कि our working capital जो साइकिल था वो 90 डेज तक पहुंच गया था. कस्टमर्स के साथ जिनका पेमेंट नहीं आ रहा था, वो कस्टमर जाने लग गए. ऐसे काफी प्रॉब्लम्स आए. तो हम लोगों ने क्या किया, बिजनेस मॉडल पूरा चेंज कर दिया. So I'll give you just example like what we are doing, what market go to market strategy we are using today. Today we are spending almost zero on our marketing cost. Why so? Because we believe like now today farmers are our customers. So we have network of around 50 physical centers in Rajasthan in almost 16 districts, working with 1,30,000 farmers and doing good in the revenues and all. So how we work, like how we work with the competition. So we know that unorganized retailers in the market are our competitions. How we can beat our competition? So we can beat the competition because we can work on the quality part. We will never give discount to the farmers, like we will give you 20% extra, 30% extra, then one time the customer will come and again he will not come. So how we can do that? We have to promote our quality part. So our farmers could be our marketing strategy. Like how it works in farmers, that most of the farmers work on the word of mouth. That one farmer can work with, like they can tell to another 10 farmers that how I bought these items from Freshocard and these were the advantage for me, right? So these kind of marketing strategies can work. So another part is that we have partnership with big brands like UPL, Buyers, Agenda. All these big companies are our partnership. So we have done partnership where we don't have to spend a single money. All these companies are organizing field visit, farm meetings, and big farm meetings that it will be sponsored by the product company, and Freshocard will be the organizer at the ground level. So now product is coming from some company, we are a marketplace, and we are selling the product to the farmers. So in this case, we are getting 15% margin, right? Let's say we are doing business of 10 crore. So we don't have to spend, we don't have to give discount, we don't have to spend anything extra to get these customers. So this is how we have identified the partnerships, our customers, and our marketing strategy, that with zero marketing budget, still we can survive. Now there are other players in the market, they are working on different models in same sector. They are doing Facebook marketing, they are doing like they are asking farmers to download the app, and from there they are getting the zero sales. But that strategy after 1 year or 2 years, they also realize that, yeah, this strategy can't work. So you have to be winner in your segment. You should know that what will be the best marketing strategy for you in your segment. Let's say you are working still in e-commerce, right? For e-commerce also, maybe Flipkart is using different marketing strategy, and you can use different marketing strategy, and tomorrow you could be also on the same level. So mostly in my sessions, what I cover for the early stage startup founders, that how you can survive till the time you get your first check from any investor. Or let's say you don't get any investment, so how you can survive for the first 3 years, 4 years, or you can keep surviving. Because never start your startup on based on investors money. And you will always realize that, if you will always realize that it's your business. You haven't started this for investor money, that you will get investor money and then you will get the business, or you will keep it running. So always think of building a sustainable business, how you can best utilize your money, who will be your targeted customers, how much you need to spend on your marketings. Always focus on building your cash flow. You have to put all your financial planning or your cash flow, everything in the Excel, and then you have to follow that. Most of the times, 90% of the startup founder, what they do, that they unable to follow what they have planned it, right? There are this challenge and that challenge, and they come to a position कि आपके पास कैश फ्लो नहीं है, आपके पास लाइबिलिटीज क्रिएट हो गई, लास्ट में एक ऑप्शन बचता है कि you have to do the firing, you have to do firing, or maybe you have to so there are like bad decisions you have to take. So in that case, so this is like basic of any business, चाहे वो education हो, चाहे agriculture हो, या कोई भी sector हो. So I think I just want to summarize this only for 15 minutes. I believe like next, maybe I can spare extra 5-7 minutes for the Q&A, because there will be some specific questions. And sorry for everyone for not like I am some in rural areas, so unable to start my video, and let's focus on this session today. So I think, Rahul, I will more focus on Q&A session at the end of this.
Sure, Rajendra. Sure, Rajendra, you can take.
Yeah. So my part will, so at the end of the day, I will interact with in Q&A if someone will be having a specific question. So you can go ahead with the next.
Okay, so you will be taking Q&A right now or at the end?
No. At the end of the day, it will be okay. So I want to spend more time on that instead of like giving only giving a speech. Yeah.
Okay. So there is one question for you, Rajendra. Should we go for MSME loan and seed fund as first fund for market penetration? We will take it and then we will switch to other founder.
Yeah. So like it depends also in which sector you are. Mostly like what we have prefer, it depends on sector wise, but there are some small loans like Mudra loan for most of the startups. I believe that they only provide 10 lakh rupees, but for at least a startup, 10 lakh is also enough to get some good traction and go to the startups. So that is the one way of taking the funding. If you believe in your idea, you can also go ahead with 10, 15, 20 lakh rupees, friends and family round on maybe convertible note and all. Other than that, third option could be, there are many incubators these days. They put money starting from 20 lakh to 1 crore or 1.5 crore. Every startup should try at least these incubators and all, because from there they will get very good amount of inside market, industry connects and everything. So I think these 2-3 ways startup founders can focus to get the funds, and these are the easiest way instead of going directly to the big investors or VCs. And you are a like agri-tech market irrigation control, so you can go for the Mudra loan and all, because you have device also. Maybe if you have some device and also, you can go to banks first, but they will only provide till 10 lakh rupees. Other than that, you can focus on these incubators and all. There are many incubators, they are focused on agri and all.
Thanks, Rajendra, for the wonderful answer and the telling about your story about the GTM. And okay, so we will take the next Q&A after the session regarding the agri-tech. So now the time to invite our next startup founder, Mr. Jitendra. So Jitendra will talk about their fintech domain, so that how he penetrated the market and all, and how he jumped to raise the fund during his initial stage, and now how he's treating the market right now. So yes, Jitendra, now the stage is yours.
Yeah, hi Rahul and all the participants. Thank you for inviting me on this stage. Actually, this is Jitendra Dhaka, founder and CEO of Bank Sathi. And Bank Sathi is a fintech platform where we are empowering consumers to save money and time on the financial products through safe, easy, and trustable shopping experience. And first of all, actually, like why we are doing this, we need to understand first of all, like what we want to do and what is the pain point of the customers which we are targeting. So actually what we are solving the problems. Actually there is a lot of financial products in the marketing, and there are a lot of financial institutes are available in the market, but still if we see the market of the financial products, there is a very low penetration in India, and especially in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So before this Bank Sathi, actually I was running my own digital marketing and tech company, Grazel Plus Infotech Private Limited, and I was earning a good amount. Like you can say I generated more than 500 million users on my websites, and I was good in the digital marketing strategies, lead generation, like organic user generation. But actually my passion was the fintech, and I generated lot of leads for the financial startups like Paisa Bazaar, Bank Bazaar. But I see a problem कि वो भी सब कुछ प्रॉब्लम सोल्व नहीं कर रहे हैं. हो सकता है कि मैं मेरे कस्टमर की लीड उनको दे रहा हूं, but they are not fulfilling that leads in a better way. So what we like I thought what we can do. So like I cooked up this idea with my co-founder Mr. Himanshu Pujari. That time he was my account manager, and he was the branch manager in HDFC Bank. So actually we found the real problem is that कि जो existing जितने भी fintech players हैं, they are solving their problems over the telephone or over the call, but still our Indian customer want the personal touch to buy the financial products. That's why we found the Bank Sathi. And we and second thing, there are lot of financial products agents are available in the market, but they also have the lot of problems like they have a lot of problems like they don't have the they are not getting the product status on the time, they are not getting the payouts on time. So what we started, we build a application for the financial advisors who want to sell the financial products, and we integrated all the financial products into the Bank Sathi application, and we tied up with the lot of banks. But initially we faced a challenge. Like एक चीज समझने वाली है कि जब भी आप कोई स्टार्टअप या कोई भी कंपनी स्टार्ट करेंगे तो आपके सामने बड़े चैलेंजेस क्या आएंगे कि आपको इनिशियल में आप जो भी करना चाहोगे, हो सकता है कि आपकी बात उनको मजाक लगे कि यार आप नहीं कर पाओगे, काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स आपके साथ आएंगी. लेकिन आपको, जैसे हमारे साथ क्या आई थी कि जब हम ये बोलते थे कि ऐसा कुछ एप्लीकेशन बनाएंगे जहां पर फाइनेंशियल प्रोडक्ट्स को इंटीग्रेट करेंगे, एंड वी विल प्रोवाइड द एडवाइजर्स ऑन ईच एंड एवरी पिन कोड ऑफ इंडिया, तो बैंक्स वाले भी हमारे ऊपर बिलीव नहीं करते. That's why we started our initial journey with the people who already tied up with the banks. So सबसे पहले हमने उनके साथ किया, then कुछ traction, कुछ customers, कुछ advisors को हमने satisfy किया, and bankers को हमने दिखाया कि देखिए कि we can do like this. That उसके बाद में हमें after 1 year bankers ने हमारे ऊपर believe करना start किया. तो सबसे पहली चीज एक आपको बताता हूँ कि जब से आप लोग start करोगे तो आप समझिए कि आप एक ट्रेन स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं जयपुर टू गोवा जाने वाली, लेकिन बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग होंगे जो जयपुर में आपके साथ कुछ लोग हैं जो जयपुर में आपके साथ बैठेंगे, कुछ ऐसे लोग आएंगे जो जयपुर में आपको इग्नोर करेंगे, आपका मजाक उड़ाएंगे या आपको सीरियसली नहीं लेंगे आपकी किसी भी बात को, और हो सकता है पीछे से आपकी ये भी बात होंगे कि यार ये फालतू की बातें कर रहे हैं, कुछ नहीं होने वाला. बट आपको लेकिन उनकी बातों को कभी भी हल्के में भी नहीं लेना. आपको यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड देयर पॉइंट, यू शुड एनालाइज दैट पॉइंट, एंड आपको ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने स्टार्ट किया तो सब कुछ अच्छा है, एटलीस्ट यू नीड टू एनालाइज दैट पॉइंट इन ऑन डे बेसिस, दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट। तो हो सकता है कि जो जयपुर में आपके साथ नहीं बैठ रहा था वो आपके साथ मुंबई में चल के बैठे, मुंबई से अगले स्टेशन पे बैठे, बट आपको हमेशा अपने आप को एनालाइज करते रहना कि गलत तो नहीं कर रहे हो। यदि आपको लगता है गलत में नहीं लाना, you should take the decision on the right time and change your strategy, first thing। second, एक गलती जो हमने करी स्टार्टिंग के अंदर, लाइक वी स्टार्टेड लाइक टू टाइप ऑफ स्ट्रेटेजी, लाइक B2B एंड B2C ऑल्सो। बट ध्यान रखो एक चीज का कि you have limited team in initially, you have limited funds, so you can't you can't manage all the things together। so initially हमने जब B2B and B2C को analyze करा कुछ दिन करके around 5 to 6 months, then we realized B2B is better for us, and then we skip the part of B2C। right now we are focusing on the B2B2C part only। we are providing the solution, or we are providing the platform to the advisors who want to sell their financial products, and we are solving all the problems or of the peoples who want to sell the financial products। like उनके problems थी कि उनको टाइम पे स्टेटस पता नहीं चलता, MIS उनको पता नहीं चलती, लाइव में हमने स्टेटस उनको एप्लीकेशन ओवर द एप्लीकेशन देना स्टार्ट किया। then there are some leaders who can build the team of the peoples of the financial product sellers। तो उनको हमने दिया कि रेफर एंड से you can earn 10% income of the peoples which are your referrals। so उसके थ्रू भी हमारे पास काफी एडवाइजर्स अभी ऑन बोर्ड हुए हैं। then we there are a lot of जो कि ओवर द टेक सेल नहीं हो सकते, सो वी आर ऑल्सो प्रोवाइडिंग देम द प्रोडक्ट्स विच कैन सेल ओवर द एप्लीकेशन। तो ये एक पार्ट रहेगा इसके अंदर। देन सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज, जैसे शरद ने बताया, राजेंद्र ने बताया कि आप जैसे हमारा कस्टमर आज के दिन है एडवाइजर, वी आर गेटिंग कस्टमर्स थ्रू द एडवाइजर्स। सो हमारी एक सेल होती है, वो हमारी पॉजिटिव कैश फ्लो ही उसके अंदर रहता है। अवर एवरी सेल इज प्रॉफिटेबल, बट अवर एक्विजिशन कॉस्ट इज गोइंग फॉर द एडवाइजर एक्विजिशन। सो what strategy we are using the digital marketing strategies, that is the organic part, that is my like core we can say। and the second one is paid ads like Facebook ads, Google ads में भी आपको लिंक एड्स देखने पड़ेंगे, बैनर एड्स आपको देखने पड़ेंगे, यूट्यूब एड्स इसमें रहेंगे, रेफरल्स, इन्फ्लुएंसर्स लाइक यूट्यूब चैनल्स पे आपको वीडियो अपलोड करवाना, काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स यू कैन यूज, बट यू शुड एनालाइज देयर बजट, देयर रिजल्ट, देयर ROI ऑल्सो। यदि आपको कहीं भी लगता है कि आपकी ROI नहीं निकल रही है, यू शुड स्टॉप दैट पर्टिकुलर पार्ट ऑफ मार्केटिंग एंड यू कैन फोकस ऑन अनदर। यू कैन डू लाइक जितने भी हैं, यू शुड ट्राई 360 डिग्री मार्केटिंग स्ट्रेटेजी, बट आपको कहाँ बंद करना है ये आपको डेफिनेटली पता होना चाहिए। दैट इज द इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट। एंड देयर लाइक दिस इज द पार्ट। देन इसके अलावा लाइक आपको प्रॉब्लम्स वाला पार्ट था जिसको हमने एप्लीकेशन में देना स्टार्ट किया कि जो जितने भी एडवाइजर्स थे मार्केट के अंदर, दे वर ऑलरेडी इन द मार्केट एंड दे वर सेलिंग द फाइनेंशियल प्रोडक्ट्स। सो उनको कैसे एक्वायर किया जाए, तो उनकी हमने प्रॉब्लम्स देखी कि उनको MIS नहीं मिलता है। वी स्टार्टेड प्रोवाइडिंग MIS ऑन द टाइम और रियल टाइम बेसिस। उनको पेमेंट जो वो प्रोडक्ट सेल करते थे उसके साथ ट्रांसपेरेंसी नहीं रहती थी। वी स्टार्टेड प्रोवाइडिंग द ट्रांसपेरेंसी थ्रू द our CRM and the application। now they can get the real time status, or they can check the income on the live basis। they can like withdraw their amount on the real time basis। and third one is the major problem was with the people who are selling the financial product कि उनके पास एक limited प्रोडक्ट्स होते थे, लाइक बैंक्स में उनको एंटरटेन नहीं करते थे। सो बैंक साथी उनका एक लाइक साथी बना कि नाउ दे कैन सेल द मल्टीपल फाइनेंशियल प्रोडक्ट्स थ्रू ए सिंगल एप्लीकेशन। तो वो चीज हमने उनको दी, एक सिंगल कोड उनको लेना है, दे कैन सर्व ईच एंड एवरी फाइनेंशियल प्रोडक्ट्स थ्रू इन through the application in their particular area. And ये सब problem find out करने के बाद में in last 2.5 months in this lockdown period we onboarded 11,000 advisors from 3,500 pin codes of India, that is 17% pin codes of India, and we have bank Sati advisors on 560 districts that out of 741 districts of India. So we are getting very good response right now. एंड मोस्ट ऑफ थिंग्स जो आपको और भी ध्यान रखनी है, लाइक आपको टीम है वो कभी भी इमोशन में हायर नहीं करनी. यदि आपको लगता है लाइक फर्स्ट ऑफ थिंग लाइक बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि कोई पर्सन आता है कि मैंने ये किया, तो हम थोड़ा सा इमोशन में आके या ऐसा कुछ करके हम उसको हायर कर लेते हैं. 2 महीने बाद पता चलता है पहले तो किया था लेकिन अभी तो हो ही नहीं रहा. सो यू शुड नो द स्ट्रेटेजी which he can follow or he can implement with us. That is important to know with us. So this is the we and like प्रोडक्ट में आपको क्या फोकस करना है, क्योंकि बहुत बार इनिशियल में हम ये करते हैं कि सब कुछ करने लग जाते हैं. यदि सब कुछ करोगे तो कुछ भी नहीं कर पाओगे. यू शुड इम्प्लीमेंट एटलीस्ट 1 or 2 थिंग्स इनिशियली. जब आपकी वो काम कर जाती है यू विल गेट द कॉन्फिडेंस एंड यू कैन ऐड द नेक्स्ट प्रोडक्ट्स. ये हमें ध्यान रखना है. इसके अलावा आप एक और सिंपल चीज जो लाइक इन बैंक्स आती, लाइक थोड़ा सा मैं भी पहले प्रॉफिटेबल बिजनेस माइंडसेट से था और अर्न भी करता था, तो मेरे को थोड़ा सा ये बर्निंग एंड ये सब कम समझ आता था. बर्निंग आपको हमेशा कम ही समझ आनी चाहिए. यू शुड फोकस ऑन द ROI. आपका 1 रुपया खर्च होता है, आपको पता होना चाहिए क्या प्रॉफिट आने वाला है, कितनी आपकी वैल्यू से ऐड होने वाली है. यदि आपने हर 1 रुपए के ऊपर अपनी वैल्यू एनालाइज करनी स्टार्ट कर दी तो डेफिनेटली यू शुड बिल्ड ए गुड स्टार्टअप. एंड आपके इन्वेस्टर्स को कुछ नहीं चाहिए, उनकी वैल्यू बननी चाहिए. उनका पैसा जो दे रहे हैं उनको समझ आना चाहिए इतना मल्टीप्लाई होगा, पैसा आपको मिल जाएगा. मैंने भी यही किया. हमेशा अपने जो भी पैसा मैं आस्क कर रहा हूँ किसी भी इन्वेस्टर से, आई tell them the strategy to increase the valuation by using their fund. तो वो आपके साथ इन्वेस्ट करेंगे हमेशा. That is the best strategy to take the funds from the investors. And second thing, आप हमेशा एक चीज का और ध्यान रखिए, कभी भी like we need to provide the transparency to your customers. like हमें ऐसा नहीं लेना है कि वो ऐसा कर रहा है तो मैं भी ऐसा कर लेता हूँ, वो कर रहा है तो मैं ऐसा कर लेता हूँ. You should analyze all over the market startups which are doing the same type of concept. आपको देखना होगा कि कैसे किस तरीके से आप ऐसी कौन सी कमिटमेंट करोगे कि कस्टमर आपके साथ आएंगे. लेकिन क्योंकि बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि बहुत लोग कंपैरिजन में लिखते हैं देयर प्राइस इज हाई, वी आर प्रोवाइडिंग इन लो प्राइस. नहीं, आपको कहीं जरूरत नहीं है लो प्राइस देने की. पैसा बहुत है लोगों के पास में, पब्लिक के पास में. यू शुड प्रोवाइड द क्वालिटी एंड द ट्रांसपेरेंटी एंड प्रोवाइड विच यू आर कमिटिंग. यदि आप बहुत कम पैसे में बहुत अच्छी चीज की कमिट करके और खराब चीज दे रहे हो, यू शुड फेल. So these are the marketing strategy जिनको हमें देखना होगा. एंड इसके अलावा प्रोडक्ट आपका अच्छा होना चाहिए डेफिनेटली. I have completed all the things, and if any questions, I have answer.
Thank you, Jitendra. Thank you for the telling the truth about the market, that how people deal on the ground and how you deal with them. And yes, thanks for your inputs, and yes, for guidance. So yes, now I would like to invite to all the founders over the screen, and the session is open for the Q&A. All the startup founder and attendees, you may ask question to any founder and we will take to the founders. Okay, so yes, I think it's for you, Jitendra. If we are in B2B sector, which the product is used by the user, then how we should interact with customers and how we penetrate the market. I think it's for you, mostly for B2B.
We are in B2B sector. Okay. So first of all, if you are in B2B sector, you should know what is your product. Like in the case, like there are two type of B2B. Like if the B2B, the business owners who are taking your products, यदि वो आपका actual user है, one is that type of. Second one is like banks आती, like we are doing B2B2C, like we are providing the solution or the platform to the people who want to sell the financial products. तो दोनों के अंदर अपना डिफरेंस आ जाएगा. B2B ओनली B2B जिसके अंदर होगा, तो आपको समझना होगा कि उसकी एक्चुअली उस प्रोडक्ट का यूज क्या होने वाला है और उसकी क्वालिटी उनको क्या चाहिए होगी. लाइक कुछ सर्विसेज हैं जो हम लाइक स्कूल्स को प्रोवाइड करवाते हैं, काइंड ऑफ थिंग. सेकंड वन इज, हमारे केस में क्या होता है कि हमें प्लेटफॉर्म को इतना इजी और इतना नीट एंड क्लीन और ट्रांसपेरेंटली हम देते हैं. थिंग इज कि उनको जो हमारा एडवाइजर है उसको प्रॉपर सॉल्यूशन मिले, उसको कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, उसको इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड हो. सेकंड थिंग इज कि क्योंकि हमारे एडवाइजर को भी आगे अपने कस्टमर को प्रेजेंट करना है, तो वी आर ऑल्सो फोकसिंग ऑन द प्रॉब्लम्स जो कि एडवाइजर अपने कस्टमर के साथ में जो प्रॉब्लम फेस करेगा उसके ऊपर भी हम फोकस करते हैं. वी आर बिल्डिंग दैट पार्ट ऑल्सो. So both are different. There are two type of B2B market.
Okay, thank you. So now we have question for the Sharad. Sharad, are you there? Hi Sharad. Yes, got it. So yes, we have question. Can you explain the PLG?
Yeah, so Ayush, frankly, I mean, it depends on the category of the product which you are in. So product-led growth, I think Zerodha is very good example in this industry, that they created market here. Alternatively, you can say it's a very strong content-led strategy also. What people say content marketing, that is also in strategy. So some good examples are HubSpot or content marketing institutes. They have been doing this. So in education sector, if your product is particularly in a must-have product category, then PLG works well. It's a nice to have categories. PLG has a lesser chances. So must-have means, I mean, for someone who wants to do trading, they want to have a trading exchange or trading platform. Now it can be a Zerodha or any other platform. So once it's a must-have product, they would be looking for that particular solution. And if you can be identified in that, then based on your experience, you can retain them, you can create programs and referrals so that you can make them grow again. And although a part of it, so there is a new user acquisition strategy where in some industries PLG might not work, but after acquiring a user, after that almost in every startup works. But if you are into actually what exactly is they're looking for the solution, then PLG can work in your category. I hope I have been able to answer.
Okay. So now we have next question. So it's my request. Can you please write the name of the founder you want to ask the question, so I can ask directly to the founder. So yes, now we have another question from Ajmal. How do you suggest a strategy outline for a new marketplace company? It is easy to find people on the demand side, but quite hard to supply side. For example, Airbnb, it is hard to identify, reach out. So yes, so I would like to invite all the founders on the view on this. So let's start from the Sharad.
Yes. So am I audible? Yeah, I think my
Yes.
internet is not really good. I'm just switching down my video.
Sure.
Yeah, switching off my video. So yes, so I think this is a very, very important question, that this initiation problem and chicken egg problem comes always. So you need to have two go-to-market strategies. Usually the mistake
I think Sharad, we have lost you. Your voice is not audible.
for our both go-to-market strategies. Hello, am I audible?
Sir, you are losing connection between the talks.
Okay, I think someone else can take it up. Then I'll changing my internet.
Sure. Rajendra, may I know your view?
Yeah, sure. Let me go to the question. Yeah, so in marketplaces, you have to work in both the side, right? If you, let's say you are a e-commerce company and maybe hotel, so uh, I think onboarding your sellers or your partners, there you need to, that will be your personal approach, because here your partners will be less and your customer will be more. If you are talking about Airbnb, right? So people are listing their properties there, and then people are coming there. So why they will like list their properties on maybe Airbnb? Because Airbnb is giving them business, maybe 90% of the time their property will be full. Or why they choose Airbnb, not any other platform? Because Airbnb have most of the penetration. So for marketplace kind of model, you have to make sure that, let's say, if you are onboarding someone to your platform, there should be a customer or user for that set of services. Then only you can retain them. And if you have, let's say, 10 of these kind of partners, so getting 11th the partner will be very easy. You can tell them that these are the 10 players. पहले वो लोग यहाँ पे थे, हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म के साथ जुड़ने के बाद यहाँ पहुंच गए हैं, और इसी तरीके से आज आप जहाँ पे हो हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म से जुड़ने के बाद में यहाँ तक पहुंच सकते हो. तो आई थिंक जो, अगर आपने कोई पायलट रन किया है और जो एग्जिस्टिंग डेटा है अगर वो सक्सेसफुल शो कर रहा है, तो सबसे बेस्ट वे हो सकता है कि आप अपने डेटा के साथ में न्यू कस्टमर्स को पिच करो. I think for most of the businesses, that's the best way to pitch to like your partners, even your customers also. In the short, I think that's answer from my side.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I
Jitendra?
agree with Rajan. I think this is,
Yes.
this is a good crisp answer.
Yes. Jitendra, your thoughts on it?
Yes, Rajendra already explained very well, and I'm using these type of strategies. Like people's or advisors who are joining us, so we are focusing on to increase their income. If an advisor is earning 10,000, so we are building a bucket of the people who are earning 10,000, and we are doing the session with them to come their income till the 15,000 to 20,000. So we are building the strategy for them, and we are educating, and we are giving the training to go the 10,000 to 20,000, and people who are on 5,000, we are giving the training to 5,000 to 10,000, and then we are showing these examples to the new peoples who are coming, or there are a lot of people who are not believing in us initially, so we are showing them a strategy and their testimonials to them. So this is the best strategy, or I'm using already this. So this is the example. People are believing in examples, not in words.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. वो होता है ना ऐसा कि देखो मेरे बाल पहले थे नहीं, अब आ गए, तो मैंने ये यूज किया, तो we can sell that kind of products.
Exactly. So yes, Jitendra, I believe the next question is for you. How to get customer for digital marketing startup via running campaign on YouTube or Facebook? I believe you are the best guy to answer this.
Can you repeat question?
How to get customer for digital marketing?
To get customer for digital marketing. Actually, right now I'm not doing digital marketing for any company or any customer, but in previously I got almost orders or almost the projects through my references only, and I always believe in the quality deliveries. So जितना भी मैंने काम किया है, so like अभी ऐसा होता है कि I am focusing on my own ROI, but previously I was focusing on the ROI of the customers. यदि किसी ने मेरे को 1 लाख रुपए दिया है, तो I can prove him कि मैं तेरे को 5 लाख रुपए मैंने ये बना के दिया है. That is the best strategy which I was using, and somehow I was attending a lot of events. I delivered a lot of sessions on about the digital marketing, so I was getting from there, mostly from references, and I was running the Facebook ads, Google ads, and the YouTube ads also. And last thing, that is the best marketing strategy, I believe in that is affiliate marketing.
Okay.
So actually there are a lot of affiliate marketers are available in market. They can give you the lot of sales if you can deliver or you can give a transparently and a good commission on the sales them. So you can get lot of sales through the affiliate marketers.
I'm trying to answer as much questions as possible directly.
Sorry.
Okay. I think there is a question for the Sharad directly. For Sharad, in industry which has cutthroat competition, how does one justify that biggies won't be able to create monopoly by crushing new startup, and why big player won't be able to match your offerings? Sharad, I
Right.
just spoke it for you.
So, yeah, so this is something which is going to, we will be facing this question particularly a lot of times. And what investor wants to see in this, or someone wants to see an answer in this, is like your trust on your product and product roadmap. So you need to reflect that you have a roadmap that, and you know that the industry, actually competition is going to follow you. So try to avoid answering that they will not do. They have some different other focus areas. You can say that while they have not a focus area in this, but they are anyway, we are prepared that when they launch it, we have a roadmap that this is how we are going to increase a particular product, or how we are going to be staying ahead of them always. So a convincing roadmap with the a very confident assumption that okay, they are not doing it right now and they do not seem to be doing it right now, but we know that they will do it certain point of time and we are ready to hit. So a convincing response is something all that what one wants to hear in such kind of questions, on such kind of questions. So they will
Okay,
always do. They will always do. All you need to do is like stay prepared for that, and have something in mind that tomorrow if they do it, what are you going to do? So be ready with that strategy.
okay. So next question from for the Dhaka. That what type of marketing strategy you are going to use for virality marketing to make more brand awareness?
Like for to make the virality or to brand building, we can use the video marketing. First of all, we should build a video for our about our product or about our services. Then we can market that video through the YouTube channels and the influencers, people who are getting very good views. So we can talk to that peoples, and we can say we can ask to publish that video in their channels. And second, we can say we can do one thing which is doing khata book in Lalan Talk. So we can through the the new channels and Lalan Talk kind of channels, and some influencers kind of peoples. And the second thing is that is about YouTube, and we can also use the Facebook platform to viral the videos. And the in Instagram we can use the short video also. So there are a lot of things we can use to make a brand, or we can viral our video or content.
Hello. Hi. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. Now we have next question for the Rajendra. How much positioning matter for agri startup?
I think I have answered this already on the Q&A, or it's a new question.
No, it's just occurred.
Yeah, can you repeat it again?
Okay.
I can't find
How
it.
much positioning matter for agri-tech startup?
Yeah, like this, it's not about like agri tech. It matters for everyone, like how you position yourself. So like how people should know about you and your startup, right? So focus on like let's say if we talk about from the customer side, customer should know your brand and they should know from your brand name that what they do, right? So it always important for growing sustainable and growing through word of mouth. Like if you have a very good brand, people are saying good words about you, so it will help you always in getting good growth without spending much. So I think that matters.
Okay. Next question for the Sharad. How did you strategize from moving towards B2C from B2B? What was your most profit channel?
So see, the most basic advantage of shifting from B2B to B2C is that you already have a reach. We already had a reach with the schools and students, and that gave us the advantage that we have to burn a very less amount of money on our on social media or paid advertisement channels. So in the shorter run, B2B2C is the methodology using a references, using a school network, already existing users on a mobile application over using a product through the school programs. That is where we prefer to upsell from. But at the same time, parallelly, we do a very small portion of money into direct B2C marketing through the own strategy I mentioned. जैसे social media के ऊपर भी थोड़ा budget करना होता है, because at a scale point, at after some point of time when you will be able to prove your traction, you will be raising some capital. You need to validate that you have tested your direct to consumer marketing strategy also. So use B2B2C till the time you have lesser capital, and but still at the same time do some prototype testing of B2C marketing or direct to consumer marketing also. So a small portion of that would help in terms of validating it while you are presenting to investors.
Okay. So guys, we are running out of time. So I will take last two questions. Then we will wrap up the session. And if you guys have any question left or you want to interact direct with the founder, you can email me. I will write my email ID on the chat box. So you can write me. So I will connect you to the founder, any of you want. So you can get mentoring or connect direct with them. So yes, we will take second last question. When somebody is not convinced with your GTM, do we get another chance to talk with them with another GTM? So any startup, any founder can answer. Sharad, would you like to, or Rajendra?
I don't think you get another chance. I mean, if you're talking that somebody is like an investor, I don't think they give you another chance at least for next 6 months. Rajendra, what you say?
Yeah, I think, but you can always keep, because there will be different customer, they will have different mindset, everything, right? So there is a go-to-market strategy which work 90% of the time, but you should also keep another one, plan B for the remaining 10% of the people. Or maybe because sometime like in initial days, you have to follow the customer. आपको एक बार मना करने के बाद भी बार-बार जाना पड़ेगा, तो आपके पास एक दो अप्रोच और होता है, आई थिंक, जो कुछ कस्टमर्स आपको मिल सकता है, could be maybe 5-10%.
Okay. So yes, we have last question from Sanjay. Do we get Mudra loan if we are a DPIIT recognized but pre-revenue startup? Any of you can.
अगर आपके पास में कोई प्रोडक्ट है जो आप बैंक को दिखा सकते हो कि हमें ये प्रोडक्ट बनाने के लिए पैसा चाहिए, तो आपको मिल सकता है. अगर आपका बैंक मैनेजर से अच्छा जुगाड़ है तो भी आपको मिल सकता है, क्योंकि ये एकदम अनसिक्योर्ड लोन है. आपकी लाइसेंसिंग में भी काफी मैटर करता है. मोस्टली वो देखते हैं ट्रेडिंग एक्टिविटीज के लिए नहीं मिलता है, बट आपके पास कोई प्रोडक्ट है अगर जिसका टोटल वैल्यू 2-4 लाख का आपको बनाना है, आप दिखा सकते हो कि मेरे को इन्वेंट्री कीप में रखना है, तो आपको इजीली मिल सकता है. और ओनली PSU गवर्नमेंट बैंक में मिलेगा, प्राइवेट में नहीं मिलेगा.
Okay. I believe we have covered most of the question, but yes, most question are also left. So we are also running out of the time. So due to lack of the time, we need to wrap up the session here. And if you guys have any question or you want to connect with the founder, you can write me my email ID in the chat box. So yes, thank you for joining the today's session, and thank you Jitendra, Rajendra, and Sharad for the wonderful session we have covered today. And if you guys are looking for the recording of this session recording will be live on YouTube. So you can go to our 10,000 startups YouTube channel. You will find most of the recordings there only. So also you can write to me. I will share the recording links with you. And thanks for today's session, and thanks for joining. And all the best, everybody.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you.